Electrocast.
So stay focused in terms of adversity. If you can't change something, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Just, it's always like next step forward. What is the next best thing to do? What is the next best thing? Because time doesn't wait for anybody, right? So there's no use, crying about spoiled milk. Just move forward.
Welcome to Think Business with Tyler, sharing our methods and strategies for success. Join in on our conversations with business owners as we highlight their triumphs and detail how they overcame the challenges they faced while continuing to grow and scale their business. It's time to think life, think success, and think business with your host, Tyler Martin.
Hey there. Welcome back. Today we've got a treat for you. Nelson Nigel, the mastermind behind Kid Moto. We're diving into his ambitious expansion plans to managing drivers and staying laser focused on growth. This is a good one. Let's roll. Hey, Nelson, welcome to the Think Business with Tyler podcast show. How is it going today?
Tyler, aloha from New York City. It's fantastic. It's just a great day. Great Thursday, right? So I'm excited. I'm super excited.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I want to first dive into learning a little bit about you. Let's start out professionally. What do you do professionally?
I'm the founder and CEO of Kid Moto Technologies.
And what is that? If you could dig a little bit, like what do you do exactly?
Kid Moto is a mobile app that connects traveling parents with drivers that provide pre-installed child car seats. And the reason is because parents find it super cumbersome and hard to travel with child car seats. And we provide that niche market opportunity and we solve an actual problem. So you can ditch the car seats when flying with a baby.
Wow, that's very cool. So, okay, I'm going to definitely dig deeper into that because that sounds like a super cool niche idea. So got a million questions. Before I go there, how about personally? You got something you want to share with us about personally? Obviously, you're awesome with colors. For the folks that can't see him, bright, beautiful blue. And his if you go to his LinkedIn, just strictly to see his pink, beautiful jacket that just jumps out. So what's something personal, if you don't mind sharing?
What's personal? I like food. I love food.
You're in the land of variety too. You definitely probably in New York get a lot of options, right?
Forget about it, dude. Forget about it. It's like everything is here. We can have some food from Kazakhstan or from from Chile to Colombia to Sweden. Forget about it. Everything is here.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, good tidbit. I'm right there with you with food too. I've got to stay away from it though, because you seem to be able to eat in moderation. I have my challenges. I have to be a little disciplined.
Yeah, veggies.
yeah, that helps.
Does cash flow have you down? Profit not where you think it should be? Maybe it's the long hours. Let's meet to see if I can help. I bridge driving the financial performance of your business to hit growth and success targets. Book a complimentary meeting at meetforgrowth.com to get started now. Once again, that's meetforgrowth.com. I look forward to talking with you. And thanks for listening to the show.
Hey, so let's get into Kid Moto. So, my first thought is when I, started researching and learning about you, my first thought is, man, this guy's crazy. Like, this is a very competitive market. I think the idea is amazing, but it would scare me a little bit because it would seem like, if it got any traction, it would be easy for one of these major players to just kind of do the same thing. I guess, what's your thoughts about that? And what was your original thought even getting into this space?
That's a fabulous question, Tyler. Oh man, looking back, forget about it. I must have been smoking something. I don't know what I was smoking, but forget about it. To bring this to fruition to where it's at right now, I could never. They say never say never. I could never do it again.
Okay.
It was just that hard. The energy it takes, forget about it. Super hard. I saw a niche in the market. I saw that Uber wasn't doing it. I saw that all the car service companies weren't doing it, and I figured it out. And I said, this is my vision. I created that roadmap, and 7 years later, here we are, 53 cities.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, a lot of times they talk about businesses, they say, okay, have a moat, like have something that's going to make you different. And it's really hard for another company to cross that moat to get into your world. What do you feel is your moat? Like what would prevent another company from going, what a great idea. Now I'm going to just copy it.
There's so many different, it's complicated.
Okay.
the entire industry frayed away from child car seats, the entire industry.
Okay.
And I figured out why they did it. And I just focused on that one thing that the entire industry hated. And I
Mhm.
perfected it. And it would be hard for an operator, competitor to come into the space because it's super hard to build out this mode.
Okay.
It's the entire industry stayed away.
It sounds like there's a lot in the logistics of probably getting the seats, getting them into the hands of your drivers, probably even from a cost standpoint of getting competitive pricing. There's probably a lot of moving parts, I think, is what I'm hearing you say.
Exactly.
Okay.
Moving parts, relationships, and just getting it done. It seems easy now, right?
Yeah.
But again, if large operators aren't doing it, there's a reason why. And even like just say, for example, like an Uber with $75 billion, I know publicly traded company, and they're still not doing it. Like,
Yeah. Now, the other thing I think of when I think of kids and I think of, we're going to now do ride sharing, I think of safety. How do you vet or how do you create that perception that, yeah, the car seat is part of it, but the other part is safe driver can understand that kids can sometimes cry and be crazy. And so you probably have some logistics there in terms of getting the right drivers that can handle that. How did you deal with all those issues?
yeah, how did I deal with it before? I had begged people. I just hop on a plane. I'll be in San Jose
Wow.
just to find people to work with us and train them, right? Because I'm a CPS, passenger safety technician, and just to be able to train drivers, and it was hard. I just hopped in the airport and just started going everywhere,
Wow.
trying to sell, right? And just some people bought, some people didn't, right? Bought into the idea.
Wow. Since you're in 53, I think did you say 53 cities?
Yes.
Wow. So do you have to negotiate with each city to some degree to be able to do this, or how does that work? Is it as simple as getting a business license?
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like that. Just but some cities were not, because it's just been a little bit harder.
Right.
But we were able to, get that done, and it was, like I say, super hard.
This might be too. If it's kind of a confidential question, feel free to say, "Hey, I can't answer that." But do you see yourself as a potential acquisition target? Like, do you think there would be other ride sharing companies that would go, you know what? We like this. We want to be in this space because it's profitable. It may not, and we want to kind of make sure we can competitively stay ahead. Is that a possibility, or what do you think about that?
That is a possibility,
Okay.
and you just never know what happens. And companies are getting very creative in how we do business, and how we're appealing to the consumer base, and how, strategically, how do we attract consumers.
Right. And I imagine this all started with an app. This is all run through an app. Is that correct?
Yes, it's the Kid Moto app. Yes.
That's awesome. Did you do the development, or did you go out and fund that, or how did you get to the point where you like have your own app to be able to run this transportation system on?
And I didn't do the actual development. It's my idea,
Wow.
and it's just I'm the hustler, right? So, I'm not the technical guy. We'll leave that to the professionals.
That's awesome. What have you found? Like, what are your biggest challenges? Like, take me through how many years have you guys been doing this, or how long is it? 2016?
Yeah, about 17. Yeah.
Okay,
So
2017. So, if you can, take me through what like the first couple of years biggest challenges were, and then if you don't mind, what are 2024 challenges as you look into 2025? Like, how do they compare it?
that's a very good question. I'll tell you that. So the first year, very slow. It's a bootstrap company. Just no money on the table. Money's hard to come by. I think I started this business with about $500 or $600. It's one,
Wow.
right? I started with like two car seats of my own, so I was actually driving myself, and super hard to 2017. Of course, so when you're building, you just don't have the customer base. You can't, you're finding consumers online. We started in New York City, super hard in 2017, 2018, started to kick in, and 2019 was starting to like really flow, great marketing efforts. And then 2020, of course.
Wow. And so literally from that $600, that's what was your seed capital to start out with. And
Yeah.
and that got you going. That's what started you all out.
Yeah. And now in 2024, nationally, most of the industries are a little bit down. I don't know if people say it's election year, and just changes within the company. So it's scaling back and thinking of strategically, how do we revitalize the company, revitalize the brand. We lost our Instagram, got hacked, right? So it's like when your consumer base is on social media, like you lose your Instagram, forget about it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was a challenge, and we still couldn't get it back. So no dealing with Instagram.
Wow. So have you basically started a brand new Instagram? Is that what you had to
Yeah,
do? Wow.
we had no choice. Yeah.
It really blows my mind in our day and age, because this, happens obviously to individuals, but at a business level, you would think there would be enough sophistication from an Instagram standpoint to kind of line up who the real owner is. I mean, it's weird to me that this just happens so often.
It does, and the emails come back to me. I'm the owner, but you just can't speak to somebody.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that hurts.
or someone doesn't respond to your emails.
Yeah.
That's just kind of like what happens. So
Yeah.
who knows what's going on? But sometimes, focus on what's the next best step, right? So
Right.
create a whole new account. That's it. Let's move on.
Yeah, that's hard. So, what are you seeing as far as, so you're in 53 cities, which is awesome. What do you see like 2024, 2025? Is it, when you say revitalize, is it kind of getting back that Instagram traffic and get back on track? Is it to get into more cities? Is it, what do you view? Are you looking then to just kind of sustain next year, or are you actually still seeing growth in terms of revenue and stuff?
Oh, tons of growth, because we are a leader in the industry, and we're pushing new product lines now, right? So we have Moto Nation, the parent company, which provides mobile apps for underserved segments of the population. More like, we're looking to pick up newborns at hospitals, doing some medical logistics, some airlines, transportation, last mile cargo, but apps for underserved segments of the population, very niche areas of the population.
If you're a business owner feeling stuck in your business, overwhelmed, responsible for everything that happens, and working long hours, Tyler helps his clients develop processes, hire high-performing team members, and better understand their financial metrics and numbers to allow for a more predictable, less hands-on business. To schedule a free, no-pressure consultation, head to thinktyler.com and click the meeting button. Tyler would love to see if he can help you work on your business, not in your business. Schedule a consultation today at thinktyler.com. Think life, think success, think business.
This episode is brought to you by Global X. Since 2008, Global X ETFs has been committed to empowering investors with unexplored, intelligent solutions. Global X specializes in exchange-traded funds that offer exposure to the artificial intelligence ecosystem, including themes like data centers, robotics, semiconductors, and cloud computing. To learn more about Global X's entire suite of ETFs, from covered calls, fixed income, emerging markets, and more, visit globalxetfs.com.
But apps for underserved segments of the population, very niche areas of the population.
Okay, very cool. Now, I want to dig deep here, because I know there's people out in the audience going, they have ideas or they're thinking about things. And a lot of times when this happens, we go, well, I don't really want to do that because, insert big company name, they're already doing it, or they're doing a flavor of it, and I'll just get beaten up. So I'm not going to do it, but I like my idea. Help me to understand, like, how did you identify this gap in the market? And then, what gave you why did it not stop you that potentially, other companies are doing this? You're just kind of putting your own tweak to it and serving a different market. Like, can you give me your thoughts on that? Like your deep thoughts around that?
So there's always room to play. There's always room for growth. And whoever you're working against, whoever you think is I can't do this because McDonald's is doing this. So I can't do this because Dell is doing this, right? Their still is market share. That's number one. So you could shoot for the stars, you land on the moon. That's not a bad place to be, right? So, McDonald's has it, but trust me, there's tons of other burger joints out there doing super well. So you can't let that hold you back. I saw, the way I say it is, if I'm going today to a restaurant, regardless if I know the location of the restaurant, or let's just say tomorrow's Friday, right? And regardless if I know the location of the restaurant, I'm going to punch that into Google Maps. It's going to send me the destination. So I know my destination, where I'm going, right? It's just going to give me a roadmap, and I'll follow that roadmap. And if you follow that roadmap, you're going to get to your destination. So be very succinct in where you want to go. That's the vision, right? And your mission, right, is to follow that roadmap. That's it.
So when you look back from 2016 or 2017, and now we're rolling into 2025 pretty soon, how do you compare that vision from where you started to where you're going into 2025? Are you pretty much online, or have you had to pivot?
Pretty much almost exactly online.
Wow.
Maybe 2 years later, but of course COVID really set us back. But the objective was to do exactly what we're doing right now. And now that we are national, now we can actually move on to other different product lines because we have a national infrastructure, whereas few companies can do this.
Yeah.
So exactly online, almost exactly online. So
you are right, though. It is pretty cool. You can leverage off this infrastructure you set up now. And it's hopefully, in theory, it should make things easier in fact, this Moto Nation, can you talk about that a little bit? I think that's your next kind of evolution.
Yes. So we will probably start raising in December of this year. Moto Nation, Kid Moto, Baby Moto, Bus Moto, and those are those are the baby companies, and we have a succinct vision of where we want to be, and that's it. We don't want to be everything and anything to everyone. We can't. But if you have, again, a vision of who your clientele is, focus on that clientele. With Kid Moto, we did parents of children, and that's it. Traveling with children to airports, only to airports. And we've done pretty well with the brand.
That's very cool. How do you keep your drivers happy? Like, would you do anything different from other rideshare places, or, any type of strategy you have there?
Different strategies, because the drivers change very hard. You can call them driver, data people to work with, because they're being, they're working for Amazon, they're working for Uber, they're working for, X, Y, and Z companies. So the objective is always, how do you keep them engaged and working for you? And once you have that, it's good, but it's always super hard.
Yeah.
Especially because, matter of fact, the industry is actually underserved. There's not enough drivers to route. That's kind of like why you always hear about Uber needing drivers or Amazon needing drivers. Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any strategies you've implemented that kind of help drivers gravitate more towards you as opposed to some of these other platforms?
The best strategy is paying more.
So I kind of figured you'd say, but I wasn't sure. Maybe you'd have something up your sleeve.
The best strategy is to pay more. And even sometimes in this day and age, post-COVID, it's like you can't even pay enough.
Yeah, it is. I imagine it's a challenging model. And then I'm assuming also, and tell me if I'm wrong here, that because you're adding this premium service, there also is probably premium pricing from a regular rideshare type thing. Is that safe to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Our drivers are professionals, so we're not, I say, John Doe working at Pep Boys, picking you up in a regular car. These are Cadillac Escalade, Yukons, Mercedes-Benz, premium vehicles, drivers in suits, kind of like that. Very executive, very professional. We make the travel experience, very joyful and safe and secure, convenient.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's your whole brand, right? Is that probably that safety and convenience is probably your whole brand?
Yes.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, one thing I want to get into before we wrap up is this topic of overcoming adversity and being resilient. I mean, this is something every business owner has to deal with at one time or another. Yeah. Give me your philosophy on that. What are some things that you've done to overcome adversity and be resilient?
Focus.
Okay.
It's hard. It's hard. Every day you have to pull up your socks, man. Every day you just have to like pick up the phone and say, okay, I'm not going to go on Instagram or Facebook, etc. Right? Stay away from the phone, and because it gets addictive, right? Stay away from the apps that will, that will steal your time, because we have, I think, 86,400 seconds in a day. We can't lose any of that time, right? If you remember that Arnold Schwarzenegger speech, there's 24 hours in a day. You have to utilize it. And that's the reality. And you just have to make every minute count, every second count. And it's very important to stay focused. It's hard. It's easy to lose focus, actually, right? The way social media and is set up, and YouTube and Google. So stay focused. In terms of adversity, yeah, if you can't change something, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Just, it's always like next step forward. What is the next best thing to do? What is the next best thing? Because time doesn't wait for anybody, right? So there's no use, crying about spoiled milk. Just move forward. Whatever you can do to create a better opportunity for yourself. You got to send this, get this project done, get that project done. Just start moving, because time is not holding back for anybody.
Yeah, that's great. I love that focus. I mean, I agree with you. Just that's half the battle. If you can stay focused, maybe even more than half the battle, if you can stay focused, you'll keep moving forward.
Yeah, there is I don't even practice it anymore as much. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. It's with these business cards where you would write a few things down the day before.
Ah, okay. So like just pick your top three things the day before, that the first thing in the morning on the flashcard you're going to see, this is what I'm going to attack, basically. There's a million books, but the one that stands out to me is there's a book called Eat That Frog. And
Eat That Frog.
Yeah, and the whole concept is every day you start the day, you pick your number one thing, or in this case, maybe it's three, your number one thing, and you will get that done that day. You will not go to sleep. You will get that done. That's your number one thing. And as long as you do that, you're always moving forward.
Yeah, it's called the Ivy Lee theory.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
I think Ford Motor Company implemented that. I think it was Ford Motor Company. And just write three things down, the three things that you want to get done tomorrow. And it's a good way to get, very productive way of just like, simplifying things. But at the same time, you get three things done, today, that's 15 things done for the week.
Yeah, very cool. And then one thing I want to wrap up on here before we wrap up is, so when you look at your journey, starting from 2017 to where we're at today, and you reflect back on where you've grown as a professional and your business, what's your biggest takeaway? Like, is there something that you go, man, I wish I would have known that, or man, I'm really proud of this? Is there a big takeaway for you?
Get rid of dead weight.
You mean, is that people, or what do you mean by that?
Everything that's dead weight.
Okay. Do you have an example that you can share?
People in general. You could say people.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
People that there's a lot of people that steal your time. There's YouTube is stealing your time. Television is stealing your time. So I don't have a television, so I'm lucky on that end, right? Time doesn't stop for anybody, and to get to that next level, you have to figure out how to focus and how to eliminate all the things that steal your time, and that you can use that time to study, to get better at what you're doing, build your craft, because you just have to consistently learn.
Yeah. Yeah. There's almost like two there. Dead weight is definitely one. And then look for things to steal your time. They kind of overlap a little bit, but they are really independent too, because you do have sometimes items that, whether they be people or projects or whatever, that are just the dead weight oftentimes takes up most of your time, and that it steals your time. And there's a lot of things to steal time. YouTube is another one, or any, I shouldn't pick on YouTube. It's any really social media can easily, and TV can take a whole day if you allow it.
Exactly. And I remember, I love football. All right. American football, both. All right. And I bought a television. I just got rid of it after 2 months, because you just end up. That's
a good tidbit. See, next time I ask you, tell me something about you personal. That would be a great opening line, because I don't have a TV.
I got rid of it, and I'm like, all right, that's it. Great decision. Since college, and I just never had a real TV. So let me get a TV, watch the football. Bad decision.
Does cash flow have you down? Profit not where you think it should be? Maybe it's the long hours. Let's meet to see if I can help. I bridge driving the financial performance of your business to hit growth and success targets. Book a complimentary meeting at meetforgrowth.com to get started now. Once again, that's meetforgrowth.com. I look forward to talking with you. And thanks for listening to the show.
But then, so let me get a TV, watch the football. Bad decision.
I love it. Well, you course corrected. That's the good news. Hey, so your website, your active website right now, your main one is kidmoto.taxi. Kidmoto.taxi. You're in 53 cities. I encourage people that want to learn more about being able to safely transport your kids without having to drag along car seats and stuff. This sounds like a great niche to be in. And then in the future, you've got motonation.us, which it sounds like you're going to be branding some different types of similar services, but to give people options to be able to do, whether it be a bus or whatever, to do kind of similar services. Is that correct?
Yes, underserved segments of the population. The transportation sector is gigantic, and there's still lots of people who are underserved, and the riches are in the niches.
It's true. That's a true statement. Okay, Nelson. Well, hey, man, love your jacket. I am dying to know, since I can't see your socks, do you go all the way down to color-coded socks?
Oh, absolutely. Color-coded? Oh, man, forget about it. I loved it. The socks just make it.
Okay, I kind of figured. Okay, man. Well, hey, thanks for being on the show. I'll get these websites on the show notes, and I'll be really excited in the near future to publish this podcast. So thank you so much for being on the show.
You're welcome, Tyler. Thank you also for having me. I appreciate you. It's very fun being on your show.
Okay, take care.
That's all for this episode of Think Business with Tyler. But we have plenty more resources to help you in your pursuit of business excellence on our website at thinktyler.com. If you'd like to be featured in a future episode of the show, feel free to reach out to us on social media at think_Tyler. We look forward to helping you think life, think success, and think business.
Electric acid.